Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. We are on our way to bigger and better things. We are on the hunt. What for? Bees. We've got quite the project today. Not as big as this, but as big as this. We built the exterior last episode, and I'm very happy with how it turned out, but every good exterior needs an interior. So what does that mean? That means we've got to pretty that up to move our villagers in. We need 39, if I'm not mistaken, 39 spots, one for each unique book trade for our librarians. And in between episodes, I did a little bit of cleaning up. And by cleaning up, I mean I switched our paths a little bit, starting over here. Before it was just a straight diagonal, which was okay, but I wanted to make this part of our kingdom and basically this whole lower half a little bit more structured. So instead of it just being diagonal, I want it to be more like roads where buildings can come off. So we straighten this out a little bit, and now we can kind of have maybe a little patio outdoor area here for the tavern. We can have a build here shooting off, a build on that side, a build on that side, and so on. And then as we come through here, again, we just straightened it out a little bit more to have a proper entrance. This can continue down that way to the village, and we can make some more builds, landscaping and things out here. But why do we need bees? Well, I don't want to keep my villagers in a 1x1 cubicle thing. I want them to have the facade of freedom, let's say. And with that, there's some bees. I want them to be accessible as well. So what I have come up with is the use of honey blocks with some carpets over them. So that way we could have a barrier kind of like this, right? Kind of like this. Our villager can stand here, and we have honey blocks here, so he can't jump up and escape. So that way he's locked in, but he looks like he has the ability to leave. So with that said, I realized I probably should have brought some campfires. This forest looks like a good starting point. I would like 8 beehives, and I plan on making that farm behind our starter house over there. That's going to be step 1, so we can get some things cooking. But once we get that farm set up, we're going to start working on the interior. I don't have a perfect plan as to what I want to do. I've kind of laid out the cubicles for our villagers, so I know that we can fit 39. If there are future additions, there's expansion opportunities, but we are pretty much maxing it out with 39. So we'll see what we can do. Grab that, grab that. Hopefully this is 3. Yes, that's perfect. All right, we're going to keep up with that. Actually, I think my axe is silk touch now. It is. We're going to keep searching around. We got 7 more to go, and it looks like there's a bunch in this forest. So I'm going to stick around here, see what we can get. Side quest, I just saw a dog and I want it. Aha! Oh, man. Okay, there's more. No, no, please, I don't, no. Why must you? I didn't do anything to you. Side quest paused. This world just has some insane generation. I keep discovering new little bits of it. Picked a good spot, but there's so many other ones that are so tempting. Side quest. Yay. Quest is almost concluded here. There's their nest. I was hoping to get them all during that same night, but it is very difficult to spot bees' nests when there's not bees actively flying around. So I'm going to chill here, wait until they get back, and then we will have our 8th nest. And that is 8. So, of course, every single one we got had 3 bees except for that last one. That's okay. I thought I saw more than 1 bee around here, but I guess not. we've got a couple back by our base, which actually is this way. I'm thinking we can get them into that hive, and then we will have 8 fully stacked hives, which should be able to get us the honey blocks we need pretty quickly. I think in total we need just over 2 stacks, maybe 2.5 stacks. So I'm going to get back and we can start building this thing. Today I'm not going to be too focused on making it pretty. We're just going to get it working. And then in a later episode, we'll make it look a little better. We've got our sheep farm that needs a little love too. Also, I hope I'm not going too fast for my dog. Hello. Oh, per usual, it's raining and I'm all turned around. That looks familiar. Good. All right. Let's get out of this rain and then we can start working on this farm. Well, we're in the greenhouse patiently waiting for either one guy to come out of here or 2 guys. Oh, hello. Would either of these interest you? Maybe? We'll wait and see. Just trying to get one completely full. And then I'll be happy. Shy Guy is getting really impatient though, so we need to hurry this up. You thought, come back here. All right, as the sun sets, we got our last guy. Let's build this thing. We're gonna make it right back here along with our sheep farm. We'll probably just put it right here and then eventually we'll pretty it up. But for now, it's just gotta do the job. Aw, to the XP farm. Okay, I thought I did this right, but for some reason it shot back up into the dispenser. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because it could just be because I was placing them weird. I'm going to let this run a little bit and see, but it's a really simple design. I'm not sure if it's by Pixel Riffs, but that's where I saw it. I'm pretty sure it's his design. So I'll link that video in the description, but I'm going to head to bed. And let's see if that works how I expect it to in the morning. Well, it's definitely not doing what I expected it to do. And I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not too worried about it. I'll just manually collect that stuff every so often. We do need a few more bottles, but I'm going to do that. And as I do that, and after I do that, I won't make you watch me do it. We are going to start on the interior of the Midnight Atheneum, and we want a good base, so why not start with the floor? This will probably be the only building time lapse of the episode, so let's jump right into it. Well, I was too busy trying to save my replay. That zombie got me. That's okay. We can always head back to the XP farm if we need to build some stuff up. Thankfully, we had our spawn right there, so no problem at all. All right, we've got the floor done in here. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with this center piece, and this might change. Kind of wanted it to look like a couple moons kind of intersecting a little bit. The Midnight Atheneum kind of felt like it went with that theme. But I don't know. This is what it is right now. We'll see if it changes. The floor was kind of fun. I kind of just put polished and unpolished diorite in my hotbar and just went like that. Held down right click and it kind of created this random pattern. So that worked out nicely. I like the texture. And then we have our hallways going into each wing. And eventually we're going to have a staircase going up here and up here, some pillars to make this look a little bit more substantial, a few little things like that. But right now, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to AFK this honey farm, and then hopefully in the morning, we'll have enough honey blocks to start on our next portion. So my plan for this interior is to have our main floor and our upper floor. I think that will give us enough space for 39 villagers. Are we going to get all those books in today's episode? Maybe if I'm really lucky, but I'm not too worried about that. What I am worried about is at least getting the villagers over here. So we're going to start building this out. And part of that second level is going to be some columns. So you can see I kind of have these placed strategically around. I'm thinking this is where my columns will go. And then our second level will probably be about here. And I want it to just be right at the lip of this dome. So maybe we'll have a little stair step up because I want you to be able to go up there and look over the mountain in the back. So let's get building this thing and let's see where it takes us. So in between cuts, I accidentally duped an item, my Elytra, duped with the enchantments and all. This was not intentional at all, but let me give you a dramatic reenactment of what happened. So I was AFKing my bee farm and I made a mistake and the bees got mad at me. So I waited and I waited, and no matter how long I waited, they were still angry. So I looked it up and it seemed that if I killed myself, they would stop being angry at me. So I put most of my items into a shulker box, but I left on my Elytra and I kept some rockets and I flew up into the air. And once I reached high enough, I took my Elytra off, thus falling to my death. I respawned in my bed. Everything seemed normal. Ran out to grab my items, equipped my Elytra, and as I did, my server crashed. So no big deal. I log back in, but I'm back on my bed. I look and see that my levels are gone. So I head back to get my items. I go over there, I pick them up, I go to put my Elytra on, look in my inventory, they were already on. And then I had another pair in my inventory. So that is what happened. Like I said, completely unintentional. And I'm not a big fan of duping items in the game in the first place. The only thing that I'm really kind of okay with is TNT for farms. Everything else, I would say no duping. So what does that mean? It means I'm not going to use these, but I am going to add them to our library as like an artifact, just as a fun memory. We'll treat the library sort of like a museum as well to look back on certain things that have happened. So that's the plan. Our second pair of enchanted Elytra will live forever in our library. So with that said, I have had so many troubles with this bee farm. I think I've rebuilt it 5 times, but I finally figured out what the issue was. I did not have enough glass bottles. There needed to be glass bottles in every single slot. And yeah, I didn't do that when I should have. So now that that is the case, we're actually all good to go. This has been pumping out honey blocks, which is great. We've almost got enough. We are very, very close. But that is the end of the saga for the bee farm. We'll leave it be for the rest of this episode. One thing we're going to need for this build are a lot of lecterns. We already have what's down here, which is, we have 12. So we need another 27. Yep, 27. Now, these guys sell bookshelves for 9, but that's a little steep for our current, we don't have a great emerald source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this guy right here because that unbreaking is a little steep as well. We can get that down. And then I'm assuming it'll go down to 1. Maybe it'll go to like 3 or something. That's okay. It'll be low enough to where we can get everything we need. So I've got a zombie stored down here somewhere. I know what. Oh, there he is. We're going to get him and we are going to bring him over to meet his new friend. Hello, old friend. Okay, I've got the stuff on me. Just needed to be sure. Nobody should be in danger except for our friend right... Uh-oh. It would be great to have a controlled environment to do this in. Fortunately, we do not. Oh my god, he's fast. He killed him? Why did that happen? Sorry, Infinity Guy. You're getting sacrificed too. Thankfully, I'm not too worried about it. We've got to get all these villagers anyway, so it's not like the end of the world, but I'm just wondering why. I don't know. I'm missing something. Oh well, on to the next. Okay. We got our guy, but now I need to get rid of this guy. And then we need to grab this guy who has armor on now. All right. Now, where did I leave the other zombie is the question. Pardon? Okay. He should be back where he belongs. I don't know where the other zombie went, to be honest. That's okay. We'll end up getting another one anyway. So we're gonna wait for this guy to heal, rip to our unbreaking villager, and we'll see what kind of trades we get. This actually might be taking forever. Oh, there we go. Just had to complain a little bit. What do we got? 3. Okay, not so bad. I did some trading, so that's 10. What did I say? We need 27. All right, let's get out of here. I've got some more emeralds stashed over by where our blacksmiths used to be before they disappeared. But since this is going to be a grand villager moving episode, we're going to be moving quite a few, I think. We'll probably bring some over there. We'll bring some here. Again, depending on how many we have. But I probably should get that villager breeder running again, just to be sure. That shouldn't be too hard. This will get us enough bookshelves. Oh, need him to reset, and then we'll get enough bookshelves. I'm going to start getting these guys a little organized, but I'm going to cut and head to working on the rest of that interior so it's ready for them. One of the things that I really want to do with this library, and I kind of talked about it with the Elytra, is I want to make it a showcase of interesting things. So with that, one of the things that I'd love to do is showcase art in here. And I'm going to start with the Minecraft art because that's easy enough, but I'd love to put out a call to all of you. If you consider yourself an artist, I'd love to showcase your art inside the library. I'm going to have paintings all around, and I think it would be super, super cool to showcase some art from the community. Now, I'm not asking for fan art at all. Just any kind of art. If there's something you're proud of that you've made, it'd be really awesome if I could showcase it. And I think it would be a great addition, similar to our commenter forest. Just another way of showing appreciation and showing off the talents of everybody. And you'll definitely get a shout out in next video if you send some in. That sounds like something you'd be interested in. Join the Discord and I'll create a channel in there where people can submit their art and we'll throw it in the library. The link for that will be in the description. I'll also pin it to the top comment just so nobody misses it. So those are the columns in. The hardest part about trying to design this, and I'm kind of doing it on the fly, but the one thing I practiced in creative was the staircase because I had no idea where to put it. So I wanted to do something kind of grand, but it just was not working out. So instead, we're going to have a simple staircase on both sides, one going this way, one going that way, and then our walkways will branch off, kind of wrap around like that, and we'll have a space here. So that is the plan. The staircase is next, and we had to kind of modify this a little bit, but that's okay. I think it turned out nice. So this is where it got a little weird here. We need to modify this just a little bit. So that goes like that. So instead, we are going to kind of extend that over that way. And from the outside, you'll never be able to see it. But a little modification is necessary for what we are trying to achieve. So that is staircase 1 all finished. It looks a little weird without the second level there, but it'll blend in, I promise. We've got a little reading nook down here, which we'll also add to the other side. All in all, I like it. It's going to look good once everything's all together. So with that, we're going to copy it and put it right on this side. So that way we have access to both ends. All right, we are just about finished with this upper level here. Just a few more blocks to place. And then I would also like to take care of that mob issue that I believe is happening in between our roof and our ceiling. I do believe it's right through that wall. So place these last few blocks and we will take care of that. Okay, let's see. Let's get ready for this first off. Yep, can they get out here? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, take care of these guys. This is unclaimed real estate in here. Maybe we can do something with this in the future, but for now, we're just gonna light it up and let it be. And we've got one on the other side too, so let's take care of that. But before we do, here is the next, I guess, stopping point before we move on to the villager cubicles. Still not fully done with the details, but this at least gives us our upper walking area. And then you can see how these stairways, they lead right up. all the way to the top. So now to connect over to that side, we just walk around and let's take a look at our view out the back here. I think I'm going to put a little like reading area right here. Yeah, super, super cool. Got the waterfalls there as well. And this gives us, oh, might need a railing. That gives us opportunity to do a little bit of terraforming back there as well, and maybe some extra landscaping. But I'm going to take care of these other mobs, and then we can go ahead and get started on the villager cubicles. Nobody's in here. Perfect. All right, so let's give a little explanation of what I'm thinking here. So basically, I want to make little cubicles for our villagers. Something kind of like this. We'll have a lectern right here. We'll have a couple of barrels on either side, and maybe we can put like a flower or candles or something on those. And the key to this is to make sure they can't get out. So usually you'd have like something above their head. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the floor here, and I'm going to use honey blocks where we can't even get out. So we'll have to figure that out. Put some carpets down, and that should be that. So our villagers will hopefully hop right in here, and they'll be stuck there. And then we can trade with them. The one thing that I actually do want to change, though, is that back one. They can't jump. The best they could do is jump up onto that ledge, and maybe we'll add something there so they can't do that either. But just for some extra lighting, I think we're going to throw some jack-o'-lanterns behind there, and that can go right under the carpet. Ouch, ouch. So that helps with the lighting, and that is our little cubicle. Now, we're also going to have some bigger ones to fit like with these windows. I think we can still probably do 3 out, but this is just going to be longer, just like that. And then in the center here, right here. So now we can have another cubicle here. Just do 1 barrel on this one, and then we'll do our lecterns where they belong there, there, and there. And then the rest, we'll do our jack-o'-lantern, and then we'll do our honey blocks. So this one isn't perfect. The honey blocks will be able to be seen from that area. But as you're kind of like approaching, you're looking at the villager, it's not super noticeable. From the outside, it's not super noticeable. So that's okay. I can work with that. Could do something like that too. And that makes it even less noticeable, actually. Okay, we're going to work with that for our larger one. So basically, that design is going to get repeated on this wall, over there, up here. We're basically going to start throwing them wherever we can fit them. Again, we need 39 of these guys. So we got to get that going. I'm going to start doing that, and we'll get an update right before we're about to start moving these villagers. All right, with that, we are done. Well, done with the easy part. Now it's time to start moving some villagers. But before we do that, I want to get some protectors in here, if you know what I mean. We need some iron golems around just to be sure nobody gets through that we don't want to get through. Voila, 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 bam. Okay, security detail 1, and let's get security detail 2 down here. So these guys should protect the entrance. As for the inside, oh, I don't know. Let's just put a couple guys in here, and then maybe we can decide later where they should go. And 1 and 2. All right, get to know each other. So with that said, and that done, we're just about ready to go. This is going to be a long, long process, but it should be a nice short time lapse for you. I am going to be doing all of this on stream, and we'll just be hanging out. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, I stream every Tuesday and Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you might be wondering why I'm putting a hole in the roof. This is for our happy gas to get them down in here, and we'll be dropping our villagers off here. So without further ado, wish me luck. This one was a wild ride. It was about a 4-minute trip between the farmhouse and the library. We had to take that trip 7 times, plus back and forth, right? So there's 14 total trips. With that, plus all the time it took to get villagers into their cubicles, which everybody knows, villagers refuse to cooperate no matter how kind you are to them. In total, it took about 4 hours to get everybody where they needed to go. So what you're seeing now is a lot of time passing, the happy gas zooming back and forth every so often. We did a lot of it on stream. It was really fun hanging out with everybody, but it was a lot of work. And all I can say is I'm happy it's done. And with that, everybody is in. We haven't locked in every single villager, so not every single trade is in here, but our important ones are, and the best part is nobody died. So we've got our main guys around. These guys are mad at me because I had to hit them to get them in, but everybody was moved in. It wasn't too bad. Some of these guys have not locked onto their workstation yet, but there's our mending guy. That's good, right front and center there. I was just looking for him. So now, and we started lighting up this place a little bit as well. But all in all, the most important step is done. We've got these guys up here too. Whoops. Everybody's up here, all good to go. The only ones that went down, like I said, a couple of our bodyguards, but we can remake those fairly easily. Notice we got a couple little things to clean up in here. But the next thing is just adding a little bit of detail. We don't have too much more to do, but I'd like to get some landscaping outside and just a few little things in here to bring the library to life a bit more. So why don't I switch out all these blocks in my inventory for better things or more useful things at the moment, and we will get to working on the exterior and the interior for our finishing touches. Honestly, I probably could work on this interior forever. We respawned a couple of our bodyguards here, and we locked down the other ones. Overall, pretty happy with it. We added a water feature here in the middle. I will probably get a couple fish, put them in there, see how that turns out. You can see we added some greenery all around and some lighting up above. Underneath each of the staircases, we added like a little reading nook. And then up at the top, we added a little lookout here for anybody who wants to read and have a nice overview of the mountain. A little table there as well. You'll also notice all of the paintings around. Hopefully next week, those will be replaced by paintings from you guys. So like I said earlier, if you're interested in having your painting showcased in here, I left a link to the Discord in the description. I also have a link to my business email if you'd like to contact me through there to submit some art. Like I said before, it doesn't have to be fan art. I am not requesting that at all. I would just love to showcase the talents of my community. And I know there are plenty of you out there that have those artistic abilities, so I'd love to see them. There's room for more paintings as well, so what you see is not everything. But for now, I think we're going to leave the interior alone. We did a lot, not just moving those villagers, but also decorating. Now, out here is a different story. I've got no idea what I want to do out here. Granted, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do in there. I just started placing blocks and seeing what happened. I think I want to create some natural barriers here, something like this, just to kind of frame it out a little bit. Is that too much? No, I think that is a good base. Yeah, I think that's a good base. Now let me get this exactly the same on the other side. I'm definitely going to need more bone meal, but maybe we add in a couple moss patches around here as well. Just to add a little bit more life to the build. Give it a little bit more detail. We're just throwing things at the wall, seeing if they stick. I think we could use a few more of those two tall hedges there, but it does the job. Coming in, it just makes it fit into the space a little bit more. I think leading up, maybe eventually we'll create some gardens. But overall, I think this is fitting. Maybe some larger bushes in these corners as well, just showing the age of this area, showing that's an established presence. Yeah, that helps them look less out of place. So we'll just do something like that. It's not the worst. I'm not totally in love with it yet. I think it could use a little bit of tweaking, but this area really lends itself to some custom trees and some extra landscaping. Like I said, we could do this forever. There's a lot more that could be added, and maybe in between episodes and things I will, but I'm super happy with the end product of this build. Not just the outside. The outside in itself, yes, is something that I'm super, super proud of. It's such a large build, but the utility that it has, the ability for us to come in here and whatever enchantment we need, we can go and get it. And then not even that, the fact that in the very near future, all of these art pieces will be replaced by people who enjoy these videos and deserve some recognition. I'm looking forward to getting those in here. I'm really excited. And again, I'll plug it one last time. You can send them in the Discord. I've got a channel there, or shoot them to the email in the description. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all create. And to close out our episode, we've got to add our commenter tree for this week, and that goes to Zavia SP. Zavia's stopped by some of the streams. I appreciate you. I'm glad you enjoyed the latest video. And remember, if you want a tree in the world, leave a comment below. I pick one comment from every single video to be featured in the following week's video. With that said, I think we are about wrapped on the Midnight Atheneum. What an intense project, but such a rewarding one. I've enjoyed every second of it, and I hope you have too. So we'll be back next week, maybe not with a build this big, but with one that we'll still be proud of. Like I said from the start, I want to continue to improve with my building every week, and this was a big step in that direction. I'm in love with this build, and I'm so glad that it gets to be a centerpiece for this world. So I've got some cleaning up to do, as you can see with my chest back there. We've got some villagers to roll for, but that's for later on. So with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Until next time.